Hi, I am Kimberly Carter. I am a Gen Z leadership specialist. I'm a coach and I am a speaker as well. I create content to share my experiences of building my own self confidence and self belief. And I hope to inspire you to do the same. And I want you to embrace your leadership potential. So, if these topics resonate with you, make sure you check out all of the channels I'm on. I have a link tree somewhere in the description about my channel. So, definitely check me out. So, today, you guys, we have made it to day 5. I should play music of the challenge, right? I should have brought confetti. I am so proud of you if you stuck with me. If this is your first video, welcome. Be sure to go back and check out the other days. So day 5 of this challenge is just going to be, again, me reading the prompt and us just sitting there, me talking through how I write out this prompt. Again, I just want to reiterate like, hey, journaling is just important, right? Journaling can be an inexpensive self care tool. Journaling can help you write out your thoughts, write out ideas. It can help you explore what you're thinking, where you are. It has been a big help for me personally on my healing journey. I've shared in previous videos about my journey of being an adoptee, reconnecting to my birth family, and so journaling has helped me through that. I had to write out a lot of feelings, a lot of days. I had to explore where I was as it pertained to that journey of just reconnecting to my birth family. And so journaling serves for me as a listening ear. Um, Again, you could wake up 2, 3 in the morning. There may be no one to call, right? Even if you have someone to call, maybe you don't have the words to say out loud. Maybe you don't want to share what you're thinking in that moment with anyone yet. You just want to be alone. You want to ponder these things. You want to work these things out for yourself. Journaling is a way to do that. Check out my journal. You can find it on Amazon. So let's get into our day 5 challenge, the last day of this 5-day daily motivational challenge for you to journal. So I'm going to go to day 49 for this challenge, and it states identify the boundaries that you feel are vital for your self care and success. Whew. Now, boundaries could be its own series. If that's something that you're interested in more of, you could drop the comment and say boundaries. Just how would you like me to explore boundaries? Any topic ideas around boundaries, and I'll definitely make that a series because boundaries, my friend, I have found are the most important things we can have. Next, how can you start implementing these boundaries today? So, first, identify boundaries that you feel are vital for your self care and success. Now, with that prompt, boundaries aren't always just not talking or shutting people off. Boundaries can be you keep a tight boundary around your time to make sure that you soak in a bubble bath 1 time a week, right? Boundaries can be I keep $15 so that if I want to stop and get myself an infamous iced coffee, then I'll do that, right? Boundaries are about resources, and those resources can be time, they can be your money. Boundaries can be your ideas. How do you implement boundaries around the creative ideas that you have? Because that's also important. That's something that leads to your success. It could potentially lead to you getting the bag. Boundaries are just important. How do you put boundaries around your emotions? Right? That for me has been a big one where I've had to learn not to talk all the time, not to talk to everyone all the time. The thing about boundaries is when you start implementing them and putting them into place, people often in your circle, in your world, who have been privy to like endless access to you may get offended. The hard part about boundaries is that when you start implementing them, other people may feel offended. My friend, you got to implement those boundaries anyway, because those boundaries help you be who you are, serve who you're called to serve, and effectively, operate and do what you have to do. Boundaries can also help you in a time of grief and healing. Maybe it is wise sometimes to put a boundary on when you speak, what you say, and what you share, especially if you're going through a season of grief or mourning. Grief not just being a loss of a loved one, although that is top of the list, it could be a lost opportunity. It can be grieving who you were in a previous season. It can be an endless array of griefs. However, what I am saying is that it could be very helpful for you to have a boundary around your time and your energy while you're going through that. So, identify boundaries that you feel are vital for your self care and success. Boundaries that are vital for your success could look like making sure that you dedicate 1 hour a week to professional development. That could be listening to an audible book. That could be on LinkedIn, they have LinkedIn Learning. That could be any number of ways, right? That you make sure that you have boundaries for growth in your professional development. And so, if I had to identify a vital boundary for my self care and my success, it would be the boundary around my emotional energy. I have realized that that is not a thing I should just always give out, right? I should be dedicating a lot of, what are my thoughts? What are my ideas? What am I thinking? I should be dedicating that to my own self and professional development. Why? Because that's how I created this journal. I put a boundary around my time. I put a boundary around my energy. I put a boundary around my empathy. I took all of that and I put it in here. So, whereas in previous seasons, I was just giving these ideas away, I was called to put it in this journal because my ideas, some of the questions, some of the things that have helped me and that I've grappled with need to be out there to help others. And so that's a way that I can identify recently that I've put up a boundary. Often for me, another boundary that has been very vital for my own success is going to bed when I am tired. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I don't care what is going on. Kimberly, when she gets sleepy, will exit the room stage left, hold up that finger, and creep out. Okay? That is a boundary that is important for my success. When I am sleepy, I am no good, not to myself, not to anyone. And when I take myself to bed, even if it's just to start my wind down process, the next day I wake up feeling more refreshed. I'm more at ease. I can create, I can think, I can get through my day better. And so, yeah, going to bed early is definitely a really great boundary. Another boundary example, see how this is turning into a series, is putting up boundaries around who you talk to. And not only that, when you get to talk to them. It's not that you don't love the people in your life. Potentially, you just might not need to exert that energy in that moment or give that away. Maybe you should reserve a little bit of that for you. Like I just said a few minutes ago, depending on what season you are walking through. This is especially important. I do realize sometimes you may have to push through people's offense. They may be offended by it. You may have to push through um, your own just ability to want to help, that natural inclination you have to say, oh, I just want to help. Oh, I could just do this one more thing. Oh, I should just take this one more call. Maybe you should not. Maybe you should put a boundary there and just call that person back tomorrow. I'm not saying with the boundary that you can't ever speak to them. If it's a situation where you still can be in communication, maybe you just call them back. It's just as simple as knowing when and knowing, is your cup half empty or half full? See how I'm about to turn this into a sermon? If you're on empty and your cup is half empty, you cannot pour from a half empty cup. We've all heard the saying, but we have not been very good. I'll speak for myself. I've not always been the best at practicing that principle. I've not always been the best at taking the time to refill my own cup so that I can pour things out like this journal, right? And so, what about you, my friend? I know that you have some areas that you could identify where boundaries could help you in your own success. And so that concludes my 5 day challenge, and I really enjoyed it. So now I'm sad that it's over, but this was just a snippet of my journal. Again, I have it in 3 different formats. It's this one, it's paperback, it's hardback, and then I also have a large version of it for people who just want more writing space and who just prefer. Or you know what? Get all three and give a gift. Don't be stingy. Get that journal. Give that journal out to somebody who you know may benefit. It's a 60-day, it has 60 days worth of prompts, but that doesn't mean that you have to go 60 days straight. You don't have to go in order. You saw how I just picked 5 random different days, right? There is no right or wrong way to implement this tool of journaling. And so I definitely want you all to check that out. Once again, it is on Amazon. But more importantly, I want you to incorporate this practice of self care for your own benefit. I am Kimberly Carter, and I really appreciate you for joining me on this 5-day challenge. And make sure that you check it out on Amazon. Until next time, take care.